So today I decided to make Liberian jollof rice for one of my daughter in the state. So yeah, this is me, my chicken, putting my spices. And those spices we have curry, we have nutmeg, and we have salt, we have ginger powder. Well, my cameraman didn't pick up where I was putting the Maggi. Then I added my onions and then stir so that our ingredients can enter very well. And this is me stirring and stirring and stirring till everything comes together to make it yummy. So then you cover. And remember, we didn't add water because we need the ingredients to enter. Then we can add water. Yeah, this is it. After like 5 minutes of boiling, then we go in with our water. Yeah, we put in water and cover, allow it to boil. And this is me removing it for me to get ready for frying. I'm removing it from after boiling, putting my frying pan, and then we have to go in with our oil. Okay, I remember, try to use oil that don't have a lot of cholesterol in it. Okay, so this is me. I went in with some onions to give the onions the oil that flavor. Then this is me going in with my chicken after thoroughly boiling and getting the ingredient into it. Now it's time to fry. Then we fry our chicken. We fry it till it's what? Golden brown. And then we leave it fry and fry. And while it was frying, my cameraman was talking at the background. So this is me. One thing about Liberian jollof rice, right? We don't parboil our rice, but rather we soaked it. So this is me trying to wash it for the first time, remove the water, then soak it down till I'm ready to cook it. And then we go in with some oil. We want to make the sauce, so we go in with some oil. And she look at it and say, okay, well, no, it's not enough, I have to add more. Then we go in with our onions. Now we need enough onions, right? So we go in with our onions, allow it to fry for like 2 minutes, then get that flavor. Then we go in with our tomatoes. So if there's one thing, growing up in Liberia, we never use fresh tomatoes to cook fried jollof rice. So always use tinned tomatoes. And as a typical Liberian woman that I am, I decided to maintain my steez with this my jollof rice. So I went in with my 10 tomatoes and let it to fry very well. And my son was like, mommy, don't we use fresh tomatoes? It's just 10 tomatoes. This is a Liberian jollof rice. I grew up eating this jollof rice and it was always yummy. I think it's part of the reason why I'm beautiful though. Then I go in with my pepper. This is just fresh pepper that I ground. I actually use a manual grinder. So I ground it. It makes the rice flavorful, give it that color. Although the tomato I used here wasn't, and there was one thing missing from my spices, which was black pepper, but the location I am, I couldn't get it. So this is all I could get, and I tried to make do of it. But if you have the black pepper, it's fine. And that was or seasoning. I put in my seasoning. I had to put a little because I still have to sauce my meat before cooking the rice. So I couldn't go in with all the seasoning so that the meat will not be too sweet or salty. And I went in with a little bit of salt. And this means dancing because it's coming to that level that you want it. So I cover the pot for some minutes, let's say 10 minutes. And this is the pepper and tomato when it's well fried. Then we go in with our stock. This is our chicken stock from the chicken we parboiled after boiling it initially. So that's the main stock. It has been seasoned with garlic, the ginger, curry powder. And one thing, we don't use this thing for our jollof rice was the thyme. We don't use thyme for our jollof rice. Like they never used it when I was growing up. I don't know for now, but when I was growing up in Liberia, we never used thyme in our jollof rice. But our jollof rice is always flavorful because we always use other things. Then we covered and I like to boy. Now I go in with my chicken because this chicken needs to be spicy. So guys, you needed to taste this. The chicken was spicy. So going with my chicken, this process can take you just like 5-10 minutes just to get the chicken sauce, the sauce to enter the chicken, so you can have that taste while eating the jollof rice. So that's the purpose of this, and you allow it to fry for like 5 to 10 minutes, and then guys, it's ready to be removed. Now we remove the chicken from the sauce so we could keep it aside. We remove all our chicken from the sauce, and by this time my son was shouting that he's hungry. Mommy, I'm hungry, I want to eat, and I wasn't answering. So now we go in with our remaining seasoning cube because we couldn't put all the seasoning cube because of the chicken, so it won't be that salty. So we go in with our remaining seasoning cube and then our remaining spices. That's the ginger, the garlic, the curry, or the nutmeg, and then we give it some thorough stirring and allow it to fry for like 5 minutes. Go in with some salt, so that be careful so the salt is not so much. I'm adding my salt like this because the rice was a little bit much, so I had to. So you have to be careful with the salt. And then at this point you have to lower your heat, because when the heat is much, the rice is definitely going to get burnt. So at this point, right now, cooking our Liberian jollof rice, we don't normally add water first. So now as the sauce is like this and dry, we are going to go in with our rice, and we're going to be stirring it so that the ingredient will enter the rice before you talk about water. So this is me putting the rice in the sauce and then stirring and stirring it for it to combine. Everything comes together. Then I cover, then lower my heat again so that the rice can stir very well. And one thing about Liberian jollof rice and fried rice is that it's only the color that is always different, right? And at this point the rice is steaming on a very low heat, and my son came here, my big son, which is my cameraman. They were dragging themselves because he's hungry and his senior brother won't allow him to rest. So he was there screaming, and I had to say he should come inside. So after that he came in and he was like, Mommy, I'm hungry. Mommy, what are you cooking? And this little man here doesn't like mixed vegetables, so he's always curious. And this is me dancing, telling him, you're going to eat Liberian jollof rice. Then I go in with my carrot. There's the fresh carrot, so it's a bit strong and tender, so I had to go in with it at a point so that it could get a little bit soft. And please don't come in my comment section telling me that the mixed vegetable is going to be too soft, guys. Then I go in with my liver, my sausage, call it sausage, and I think Nigeria call it hot dog. So this is what we go in with. I go in with my sausage, my hot dog, and sliced beef and the liver. So then we stir it together, because at this point the rice is getting tender, it's not so strong, and it will done anytime. And we need those ingredients to enter the sausage and the liver, so it can be looking so delicious. So we go in with that. At this point, if you see it, it's already coming together. You can see that glow. Then you go in with a little bit of water. A little bit of water. Then after steaming, like this is the last thing you put, guys. The rice is already tendered, and so now we go in with our green peas, our mixed vegetable, and I garnish it up with a little bit of kidney beans. So you go in with that because the rice is almost done. If you go in with it earlier, it's going to get soft, and you wouldn't want your vegetables to be that soft. So we go in with it at this point. At this point, guys, if you have aluminum fork, like I didn't have it, as I said, this location I didn't have that, so there were things that I couldn't get. So at this point, you don't need to add water or anything else. All you need is heat. So you put your heat low, you lower your heat, and if you have an aluminum fork, you just cover it up and allow it to steam for another 10 minutes, guys. And then, guys, it's ready. So this is how we prepare the Liberian jollof rice. So coming up, I always ate this and I could feel myself glowing. So now at this point, our rice is ready. Don't mind my tomatoes. The tomatoes I use is not so red, but if you really use this good 10 tomatoes, like the rice would be red. But the thing about this rice is that you wouldn't know that there is no fresh tomatoes or anything. The rice, everything sinks together. Everything is